Hello and welcome to Earthy Goodness Kitchen. My name is George and today we're going to be creating 3 plant-based breakfasts which are going to be high energy and they're going to keep you full all the way till lunchtime. So we'll be making a scrambled peri peri tofu, then a chipotle tempeh and sweet potato breakfast wrap, and then a chocolate and hazelnut smoothie. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below, click the notification bell and say hello in the comments. But yeah, let's get cooking. Grab an apron and let's do this. So we're going to start off with the peri peri scrambled tofu. We're going to top and tail the red pepper and we're then going to give it a nice little dice. So the general idea with these sort of high energy breakfasts is you want it to be high in protein, as that's going to mean you're fuller for longer and it's just going to keep you more satiated essentially. You want them to have a nice whole grain or sort of slow release carbohydrate source. In this case we're going to do some wholemeal toast with the scrambled tofu. And then you want it to be a nice healthy source of fat. So we're going to be cooking this, the scrambled tofu in a good quality olive oil. So once you've got your red pepper diced, just pop it into a little bowl for a little bit later on. We're then going to thinly slice 1 spring onion, and this is going to be a little garnish to go on top of the scrambled tofu. I'm actually going to get a second spring onion here, as this is going to be serving 2 people. You're then going to get your block of tofu. I've just got a extra firm tofu here. It's been pre-pressed, so all I had to do was give it a little pat dry, and we're going to crumble it into a bowl into sort of bite-sized pieces. So I don't know about you guys, but the sort of breakfast I used to eat when I was a kid or even a teenager, throwing tofu everywhere, was very much a sugar-based breakfast, like Cocoa Pops or, I don't know, honey on toast, jam on toast, that sort of thing. And that would just mean that you would have your breakfast and then, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours later, you would crash hard, and then I'd be at school and not be able to concentrate on anything because I was on a Cocoa Pops high. So these breakfasts are very much going to be the opposite of that. They're going to include some nice slow release energy sources like the whole grain toast. You can use just like a firm tofu rather than an extra firm tofu. That's going to be more of a softer scrambled eggs, and you'll probably need to give it a bit of a press first before using it. So there you go, nice little bite-sized pieces of tofu. So now we're going to make the sauce for the scrambled tofu. So we're going to go in with 80 ml of any plant-based milk. I'm going to be using oat milk today. We'll then go in with 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. You can use a spicy one, you can use a sweet one, it's totally up to you. 1 tablespoon of tahini. Next up, a 1/4 teaspoon of kalau namak, which is also known as black salt, and that's going to give it a sort of eggy taste. It is sort of an acquired taste, so if you're not fussed about it really tasting that eggy, then I wouldn't worry about it. A 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And finally, 1 tablespoon of peri peri sauce. You can do more if you like it a little bit extra spicy, so you could go for 2 if you wanted, or 1.5. But I wouldn't say I have a crazy spice tolerance, so I'm just going to go for 1 tablespoon. Then just give that a little mix. Once your pan has heated up, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And then once your olive oil is nice and hot, add in your tofu. If you're hearing a little bit of a sizzle, then that means it is good to go. So then I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt. Not too much, because the kalau namak, the black salt, will add some seasoning as well. And then a little black pepper. So you're essentially trying to get a little nice light golden brown all around the tofu. Once the tofu is mostly cooked, we're going to add in our red pepper and cook that for just an extra minute or so. And then finally we're going to add our little saucy mix here, which is going to really transform this into a beautiful scrambled tofu. sure you get it all out. And then we're just going to cook that out for about a minute or two. So now that the sauce has thickened up and sort of coats the tofu, I'm going to turn off the pan, and that is good to go, ready to be plated up. So I've got a nice bit of wholemeal toast here, and we're just going to spoon on some of this delicious peri peri tofu. Look at that. Looking good. I'm just kind of knocking it all off the toast, which isn't really what I'm meant to be doing. If you can get it on the toast, then that would probably be a good idea. But yeah, that's that. We're going to garnish it with a little spring onions, like so, and maybe a cheeky drizzle of olive oil. Why not? So there it is. We have a delicious scrambled tofu. Oh, trying to show you without throwing it everywhere. Let's maybe put it on this camera down here. Yeah, scrambled tofu, peri peri spices to kickstart your day. You've got a nice slow release energy source from the bread, you've got the protein from the tofu, and you've got healthy fat from the olive oil. Enjoy. Okay, so next up we are going to make the chipotle tempeh and sweet potato breakfast wrap. So I've got one sort of medium sweet potato. We're going to take the ends off real quick. We're now going to grate it, but we're going to leave it whole. You can leave the skin on, that is where all the good fibre and nutrients is. And a little bit at the other end. And then we're going to cut it in half. I find that's the easiest way to get the peel off. There we go, easy peasy. You sort of want to use 3 fingers, 2 either side, 1 in the middle, and use your knuckle almost to guide the knife, like so. And just a little rocking motion. Of course, having a nice sharp knife is going to be important here. And then pop that in a bowl as well. Great way to sort of get a really nice fine garlic, and then put that aside. Next we're going to get our tempeh and just simply crumble it into a bowl. I've got my tempeh from a company in Bristol called Tempeh Meads, and it's just really delicious. It's a lot nicer than the stuff you get from the shop, which tends to be a bit bitter and a bit too firm, I find. To this tempeh we're going to add 1 tablespoon of corn flour and give it a good mix around, and that's going to help make it nice and crispy. Probably could have chosen a slightly larger bowl here, but I think I should be able to just about make it work. Give it a good toss around, making a right mess here, but that is perfectly okay. Sometimes you gotta get a little bit messy while cooking, and that's okay. And then just put that to the side as well. Okay, so we're going to heat up a nice large pan. I'd probably use one with slightly taller sides if I did have one, but this is all I've got to use for now. Having taller sides would just make it a bit easier to sort of toss the food about. So we're going to go in with 1 tablespoon of olive oil and get that nice and hot, ready to throw the tempeh. Okay, so I can see a little bit of smoke coming off the pan, so that means it's definitely going to be hot enough for the tempeh. So throw that all in like so. Spread it out, we're going to get it nice and crispy. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. Okay, so that is starting to get a little bit crispy on the edges. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to season it. So once you've got a bit of colour on your tempeh, we're going to add another tablespoon of olive oil, like so. And then we're going to add the sweet potato all over, like so. Looking good. It looks like a lot now, but it does cook down. And you're also going to add your red onion and garlic. We're going to cook this down for probably about, let's say about 5 minutes. Should do the trick. Okay, so that has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and it's already tasting pretty delicious. But now we're going to add in some flavouring. So we're going to go for 2 tablespoons of chipotle. That's 1/2. That's another half. This is a really nice chipotle paste. The brand is very lazy. It's a UK brand, I believe. We're then going to add a tablespoon of ground cumin powder and just a little teaspoon of soy sauce. That's going to give it a really nice umami flavour. And then just mix it all in. Give it a final taste. Yum. That's so good. You've got the nice spicy chipotle and the fragrant cumin coming through there. So that is good to go for your filling. We're going to make a quick zesty lime yogurt. I've got a nice Alpro no sugar plain yogurt, and we're going to go in with 3 tablespoons of this. Give it a little mix up. If you can get like a Greek style one, that would be even better, but just a normal vegan yogurt will do perfectly fine. So 4 tablespoons of yogurt. Then we're going to zest in 1 lime. We're going to add the juice as well. Give it a little roll to sort of release all the juice from the lime. Now I know not everyone likes coriander, but personally I love it. But if you don't like it, then you could use mint. Mint would go great, or parsley. And we're just going to finely chop this and add it to the yogurt. The best way to chop up herbs is to simply roll them up into a little pouch, like so. And then just run your knife through them like so. Being careful not to take off your finger in the process. There we go, that's a really quick, zesty coriander and lime yogurt to go in your wrap. Once again, if you can get a Greek style yogurt, then that would be even better, a little bit thicker. Give it a taste. That's good, it's got a good zing to it. Okay, so you can make a beautiful wrap with the tempeh and sweet potato filling here and the zesty lime yogurt, but then if you'd like to, you can add a few little extras. So you could add some avocado, a little bit of lettuce, and we've got a little shop-bought salsa here. So these are all sort of optional, and these are the main components here. So I'm just going to slice up a little bit of this avocado. Okay, so get yourself a wrap. I've got a wholemeal one here. You can use white if you like. It's totally up to you. This will probably make about 3 wraps, so it's good for 2 people, 1.5 wraps each. We're going to start with some of this delicious tempeh and sweet potato filling. Let's be nice and generous. Then I'm going to go on with a little of this lettuce. Then the avocado, just a few nice strips of it there. Some salsa. Oh yes. And some of the zesty yogurt drizzled on like so. And then to roll it up, I'm just going to go in at the sides, over the top, put it back in. It's getting a bit messy, but that's okay. And then roll it up. Probably should have gone and not put in quite so much of the sauce. That's okay. And there you have it, a delicious chipotle, sweet potato and tempeh wrap with a few little extras thrown in there. Let's just bring it up here. Oh yes, look at that bad boy. Last but not least, we're going to make the hazelnut and chocolate smoothie. It's going to have bananas, oats, medjool dates and lots of other good stuff in it. So let's get started. We're going to start off with 250 ml of oat milk. Then 25 grams of vegan protein powder. 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. 10 grams of flaxseed, or about half a tablespoon. 2 medjool dates, or just regular dates if you can't find medjool. Half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. 1 banana, 10 grams of oats. That's going to give it a little bit more slow release energy. 25 grams of roasted hazelnuts. And then finally 2 ice cubes. I've got quite small ice cubes, so I'll be putting in 4 to make up for that. So you'll now have a beautiful, smooth chocolate and hazelnut smoothie. If you do want it a little bit thinner, then you can of course add a little bit more water or some more plant milk. It's totally up to you. Let's give it a little taste. So good. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe down below and drop a comment letting me know which breakfast you're going to try. And yeah, I'll see you very soon.